This would be used as part of a perspective lesson at the middle towards the end of for a formative assessment tool using a smartboard in between transitioning from um, one point perspective assignment to the next, and in which I would test their understanding of the vocabulary and their use of observation and seeing where these lines would go. So I would, these slides are here and the students come up and they need to decide where the perspective lines are. So different students will be asked to come to the board and they would then take these lines and draw to the perspective points, and therefore gaining an understanding as to where artists might really use all this vocabulary that they're learning about and making learning more realistic to them so they can understand that it's not just one way of thought. So there's different views, obviously, and there's different perspective points. So this one obviously is a bird's eye view. So one student might come up and put a couple of lines going there. Another student might come up and say, okay, well, I see this is from a bird's eye point of view, and he would be right, or they would be right. So they might draw a bird in here flying above this city, and they would be accurate in their thought process with that. Another student could come up and say, well, I remember when we talked about doing perspective and we had to draw our objects and we had to make them look three-dimensional, and in doing so we had to make types of boxes which came out, and that would be a way of showing three-dimensional too. So just giving different people different opportunities to see perspective and how it's used helps them understand a little bit more where they're coming from in between. Now, for the more advanced learner to understand and to set up the knowledge for the next part of the unit, I would ask them to see if anybody knew if this was 1 or 2 point, and to see if they could line out the points as to what were the points of perspective and where they might see them. And then moving forward, this would help the students understand that you can warp perspective when they go to do their letters in the next assignment after their room. And this one obviously would be multiple perspectives, and students will be asked if they could find how many points of perspective, so they can come up and write their names and give a guess and try to figure out. They can draw on them with dotted lines in different colors, and write their initials or their numbers as to what their guess was. And then at the end I will reveal that there are 5 different types of perspectives being used in this drawing. This is an awesome way for smartboards to be used and technology operation concepts to be used to help students understand in a more engaging manner for a formative assessment, especially in the arts.